Keep us in the flame. What is up? My sweet little... Hang on. Go figure. I try to start a video. Boom, here. Okay. Hi, Cancer. How you doing, Mom? Okay, so I got a new book. We're going to crack that code. I'm so glad I found this because I'm like, okay, this putting everything together thing is like exhausting, and there was almost no information you could find on the asteroids goddess belt information. It was crazy. So finally found a book that's going to help me through it. It's called Asteroid Goddesses: The Mythology, Psychology, and the Astrology of the Re-Emerging Feminine by Demetra George and Douglas Bloch. Okay? So that's what I'm working on. Then, because I'm a freak, Cosmos and the Psyche by Richard Ernest. Now, I've heard of this before, and I had the privilege because I was watching the astrology podcast, and they had Richard Ernest on there talking about Pluto, and he his book had been made into a series by Seeds of Change Man. Really cool person who I cannot remember. But they did a series and it was called The Changing of the Gods. So important. So what this does is it breaks down how all the outer planets are more of a global, generational type of influence. And it lines up the patterns of when Uranus is trine, when Uranus is squared, when Uranus is opposition, and all this other stuff, and what that means for society as a whole. It's really, really fascinating because like things like the sexual revolution back in the 60s and 70s, the drugs and whatnot, like the experimenting with drugs back in the 60s and 70s, that was also a planetary alignment. Civil rights, women's rights, Civil War, world wars, all these different facets of our lives, rock and roll music, coming of age, and whatever else, creative things progressing and moving society as a whole forward. All of these things are insignificant to where the planets are placed. And that's the last three on the outside of the goddess belt, okay? So I'm really looking forward to reading this. I am super excited. And if you want to join me on that journey, you're more than welcome. I'll probably do some sort of like either like I'm third way through the book and this is how it's going type of update in a video or whatever it is. Because I think this is going to be one of those things that's going to help some of us who are curious about it process some things. At least it's helping me process some things because some of us are weird and we have questions and we need answers. And this is one of those avenues that really kind of assists in that mental process. Okay, Cancer? Okay, I love you. And I bet you I'm going to do the same little speech for Pisces too because they'll probably appreciate that too. But I'm doing that for all my water signs. And then I'll make a separate video. Making a separate video later on love languages. And how it relates to figuring that out on your natal chart. So, that being said. I don't want that. I'm going to go with the herbology deck for Cancer. Okay. So, that's where things are at on my end of things when I'm doing my research. I'm not giving up. I'm persisting through that battle. I just need to find a different approach to it because it's a very overwhelming task. I thought it'd be easy peasy lemon squeezy because that's the way Cindy made it look on Awakening to Spirit. She made it look incredibly gorgeously easy. She had little note cards that she read off of and then she just did the read and I'm like, I can do that. Oh. So, what does the universe want Cancer to know other than me babbling out some random astrology books? Okay. What does the universe want Cancer to know about frequency, energy, and vibrations coming in What does Cancer need to know this week? And this will probably be, probably be like every 4 to 5 days is probably going to be how regular I'm going to do the readings, because right now I'm trying to do each element a day. So if you have an earth sign, I'm going to do your earth signs in one day, and then on the next day I'll pick water signs, and then the next air and fire. So that's the way it's going for now. I'll see how I like it, but right now it's going really well, because this whole like keeping a sheet of paper and trying to keep track of who I've done and who I haven't done, it was driving me a little bit bonkers. Okay. Okay, so how do I want to pick these up? They kind of came out in like little... I got 3 little clumpies here. We're going to start with this one, the 2 of fire. The Ace of Cups in reverse, and the 2 of air upright. Cancer. You got to consider yourself, love. 10 of Cups in reverse. The moon in reverse. Queen of air in upright. The star and the Empress. Ha! And the 3 of Pentacles. Okay, so your outcome is freaking phenom here, Cancer. I wish I had some Cancerian placement. Dang it. Okay, so you're going through, I mean, we're all in that state, right? Where the seasons are just starting to kind of a little bit. Unless you're in the southern hemisphere, then they're totally different. And probably should not be my channel, because I'm going off the northern hemisphere astrological signs right now. And so if you live in the southern hemisphere, like south of the equator, like these readings are probably not going to help you. There's plenty of other people on the south side that are like really knowledgeable about the energies, frequencies, vibrations happening on that side of the planet. So go tune into one of those, because I'm not quite sure how well these are going to help you. If they do, that's awesome, that's amazing, but I'm not sure. I have not even explored the southern hemisphere aspect of things. So just to make that known, okay, so just full disclosure, I have no concept how that works. I don't even know if it does work as far as northern and southern. But right now we're going through our winter season. We're just getting into winter, okay? Ending fall into winter. So we're taking a deep breath. And we're settling in, right? This is Mother. Before the big inhale of spring, and then, okay? So we're just releasing the breath now and going into that dormancy of winter, where there's nothing coming in and nothing going out. We're sitting in the stillness, right, of our breath. This is Mother's breath, I should say. So things are settling, Cancer's going within, and you dump in your cup, and you're digging deep to tear. Oh my God, moonflower, you guys, if you can get yourself some moonflower seeds, because that's the only way it grows. I have never found it growing in a nursery greenhouse, and I worked there for like quarter of a lifetime, I think. So seeds, they grow well. Just make sure they have sunlight and room to grow. I'd put them in a little bit bigger cell. They are unparalleled in any other. They're just magnificent, and they bloom one night they bloom, and they're bigger than my hand. Okay, I have teeny tiny tarot hands, like teeny tiny itty bitty tarot hands. Like when I see people shuffling the mystic moment deck, like hi, do you see that? Like, okay, so bottom of my hand, ta-da. Okay, teeny tiny tarot hands. So that's a terrible thing. They're bigger than like a pop can. They're bigger than, that's a, something. Of course I don't have anything like traditional or typical or universal size, okay? So pop can, bigger than a pop can size bloom. These guys are absolutely gorgeous, you guys. Absolutely, just breathtakingly beautiful. And their smell is right up there with like gardenia and jasmine. It's just, if you can grow this, do it. Do it. Just make sure it has something to crawl up on, like if it's a deck, or even like if you have like a few bamboo sticks, stick them in there so they can grow up, right? Because they get tall. And yeah, Cancer, if you live in a place where you can do that, and it takes about 4 to 6 weeks for them to get to about like this, and then once you get them in the hot heat, they'll take off, and then by like August they'll be blooming in the evenings. It's great. But you are going really deep here. But you're taking your light with you, which is good. It's almost like you're flooding in your own emotions, right? You're dumping all your cups out. And you're leaving your mental's in the upright. You've got your mental clarity, but you are just in it emotionally. You are in it. And I think we went through this the last time. Cancer, your particular sign is Cinderella and sifting through everything. And in the Bible, you're the great flood. So red clover. Red clover is a processing of anger. It's good for kidneys. It's been known to be good for kidneys. But it's all over in this picture. And the little jar is like dumped out. So I have my candle over here to help get some extra light on there. So see the jar right here? Okay? It's dumped out all over the table. And then the little cup has a rainbow on it. So it's you, we're not a speck on a spectrum, we are the spectrum. We always have access to 100% of the spectrum all the time. So when you limit your chakras to just, I'm just going to focus on this one, that's a bad idea. We're all a spectrum. We are all rays of light. Okay. There's no, you don't just like say, ooh, that I'm on this area of the emotional spectrum. In Cancer, you should know that better than anything. You instantly have access to all your emotions, as you freaking should. Listen to me. Our emotions are there to instruct us to what is happening in our environment, in our internal world, as we relate to our environment, in our environment meeting our internal world. Those are signifiers as to what's happening. So don't deny them. Don't suppress them. Don't tell yourself, I'm just going to deal with these in the mental realm, because it's not going to work out. But I don't see you doing that here. I see you just dumping all your cups and being like, how are they going to serve me? What do I need to learn from these dumped cups? And you're doing a good job. You know you have choices, and you are carving your own path here, Cancer. You're carving your way through. See that sickle she's holding right there? You're carving your own path. So all of these dumped out emotions are now just being pulled up, right? And you're like, what does this mean? What is my subconscious trying to say here? Now the moon in this particular reading upside down says to me that you are taking it to a depth that you have not been to before. You are taking it into a place that you have never, ever seen or fathomed of. And you are getting brave here and cutting away. Motherwort. Ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I could do a whole video just on motherwort. And I cannot explain in freaking 15 freaking minutes how powerful that one herb is and how much it means to the feminine, to the yin, to the great unknown, to the darkness. I cannot convey in 15 minutes how much it means. So, way back in the day, way back in the day, before there was those weird regaleles, women used to make a brew, and it was called, mugwort, otherwise motherwort, mugwort, whatever you want to call it. Women used to be in charge of doing the brewing process. Now this was before they discovered hops. So this was the main herb that they used in those mixes, okay? And they would mix it with things like raspberry leaf. If if somebody was having problems with period cramps, they would use the raspberry leaf in there. If somebody was having indigestion problems, they'd use a different herb. Chicory, right here. Indigestion problem. Chicory root. Clove. They'd put clove in there. If you were having kidney problems or anger issues. Bee balm. Bee balm's good for like soothing the intestines, soothing the arteries, things like that. It's a good salve on the outside too. It's a calming herb, so it would very much calm you. A lot of times they'd use licorice, but this main ingredient was a semi-hallucinogen that people who drank it before bed would be more susceptible to understanding and listening to their dreams. It was kind of like a lucid dream type of thing. So before men got a hold of breweries and pubs and things like that. So way back in the day. Okay. And then they did get a hold of it because Patricia, I can't remember her last name, she put it in her book called The Sacred Medica. That's right. Ladies, we used to be able to be doctors and whatever else, so I don't know what happened in between a woman putting out in a book called The Sacred Medica and I don't know what happened. I can't tell you. I can't fill in that gap for you. All I know is there was a woman, she put out a book called The Sacred Medica. This was in there, this recipe with hops in it. The men took it, made big giant batches of it, and then opened the first pub. Do you know what happened a couple weeks ago? That pub closed down. Okay, so what's the significance of that though? It kind of opened the doorway. Men started going outside of the family home to whatever. Women were not allowed in the pubs unless they were selling one thing particularly. I'll let you guess what that was. And so the family kind of fell apart, right? Kind of just fell to bits and pieces. And then what happened when Mother Earth got pissed off? Right? When all the moms in the tribe got mad that they weren't able to use their sacred medicines to help their families because they were crumbling at that point. You're never going to believe what happened. The burning started. Okay? So we don't need to blame men for that. It's just an opportunistic thing, and everybody made their choices, and this is the outcome that we're dealing with. But sacred feminine's coming back. Okay? In a major, major way. And we need to honor this, keep it sacred, keep it holy, and we don't need to demonize anybody. Don't need to chastise anybody. We just need to come into this sacred medicine with an attitude of gratitude and grace, okay? Because I think those medicines are definitely going to be useful here in the coming years on a major, major scale, okay? In Cancer, I hate to break to you, I don't want to dump this all on you, but you are the creatures of being able to run those emotional gamuts. So you're going to have a serious superpower. A major, major superpower over everybody else right now. Serious business, legit. You need to take your emotional intelligence that you're gaining here, take it out into the world. Okay, you need to bring this to the world. Because this is super powerful medicine that you have here. You are literally just, to me, you have done so much in the past, but this is you running the ultimate emotional gamut. The ultimate emotional gamut. Because I think you instinctively know here, with your looking out, I think you instinctively know, looking between your two wands, you instinctively already know that this is your superpower and this is your purpose. So you already instinctively, that's your intuition, right? It's not on the, well, okay, it doesn't need to be on table. You have the star, you have the Empress, and you have the Three of Earth here. So you are going to start reaching for your purpose, your goal, your dream, and you are going to bring all the beauty that's inside of you to that dream. Okay, and then you're going to share it with people, and it's really good medicine. My grandma used to say that she loved raspberries so much, and she used to say that all the little seeds in Mother Nature were giving us cures to diseases we didn't even know we had. Okay, so I don't even feel like I need to clarify. I do feel like I need to pull you a medicine card quick. Okay. I hope you understand this. I know it can be overwhelming, especially when it comes to the emotional front, but you are freaking rocking this here. Legit rocking it. So if you could just keep up those energies and keep this going and manifest something that's going to be to not just your benefit, but I'm getting to the globe on this one, Cancer. To the globe as a whole. Okay. As within, so without. As above, so below. I don't see this being a small feat at all. This isn't. And so oftentimes, right? Oh, there it is. I love it when they do stuff like this. There's a little infinity symbol. Okay? There's a little infinity symbol on there. Which means, yeah, you need to put it out into the world here. Whatever this lesson is. There's a little teeny tiny white moth butterfly looking thing. Go towards the light. Which I see you doing with this doTERRA blossom. What else? Okay. Alright. There's grape leaves here. So grapes are, these keep pickles crisp. I'm just going to spit it out there. I have no idea why I needed to say that, but I needed to say that. Okay. So they keep pickles crisp. Grape leaves too. Grapes are a sign of abundance, not in necessarily the Pentacles way or the material monetary value. I get that they are more of an abundance of home, family, spirit. You can make jellies, jams, wine, or just eat them. They're so versatile in their usage and their vines. I can't use words to display how powerful this is, Cancer. I can't. There's nothing like I can really. I can't. I don't know what to tell you to help you understand that this, whatever you're working on here, is super important. And you've got crow and buffalo medicine here. And those are going to be super important. Definitely the crow. Oh, yeah. Well, here we go. That's what I get. 24. 24 is the crow medicine. All right. And thank you all for your love and kindness while I read these cards out loud, because my lexistic ass is really benefiting from this. So I'm like, I'm going to go buy a few more books because I'm getting like really courageous with this whole reading thing and retention. I usually read a lot of books, but like now it's winter time and now I have a reason to like read even more books. So like I'm like, go, 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 go. So let's see, can we get... I don't know if I told you this yet, so I'm going to keep saying it. If you look at pictures of things, you get the frequency, energy, vibration of that particular being or planet, anything, butterflies, dragonfly, you know, moons, Cancer, woohoo. Okay, so here's a crow. Meditate on this. Crow, are you cawing so I may know the secrets of balance within my soul? Or are you sending your sacred caw to just remind me of the universal laws? There is a medicine story that tells of Crow's fascination with her own shadow. She kept looking at it, scratching it, pecking at it, until her shadow woke up and became alive. Then Crow's shadow ate her. Crow is dead Crow now. Dead Crow is the left-handed guardian. If you look deeply into Crow's eyes, you will have found the gateway to his supernatural. Crow knows the unknowable mysteries of creation and is the keeper of all sacred law. Since Crow is the keeper of sacred law, Crow can bend the laws of the physical universe and shapeshift. This ability is rare and unique. Few adepts exist in today's world, and even fewer still have mastered Crow's art of shapeshifting. This art includes doubling or being in two places at one time conscientiously. Taking on another physical form and becoming the quote-unquote fly on the wall to observe what is happening far away. The Europeans that came to Turtle Island were named the boat people by the slow turtle. Even with the knowledge of alchemy possessed by certain boat people, none had ever seen the powerful shape-shifting of shamans who utilized crow medicine. Many boat people were frightened by what appeared to be animals coming into their camp or dwelling to discern their medicine. Crow medicine people are masters of illusion. All sacred texts are under protection of Crow. Creator's Book of Laws or Book of Seals is bound in crow feathers. Crow feathers tell of spirit-made flesh. Crow is also the protector of the Ogala or the ancient records. The sacred law belts or the wampum belts, beaded by native women long before the boat people or the Europeans came to this continent. Certain knowledge of Great Spirit's laws and are kept in the Black Lodges. Let me reread that to make sure it's good. Okay. Holy run-on sentence. The sacred law belts or wampum belts beaded by native women long before the boat people or the European people came to this continent contained knowledge of the Great Spirit laws and are kept in the Black Lodges, the lodges of women. The law which states all things are born of women is signed by Crow. Children are taught to behave according to the rules of particular culture. Most Orthodox religion systems create a mandate concerning acceptable behavior within the context of worldly affairs. Do this, and so you will go to heaven. Do this, and then you will go to hell. Different formulas for salvation are demanded by each quote-unquote true faith. Human law is not the same as sacred law. More so than any medicine, Crow sees that physical world, even the spiritual world, as humanity interprets them, are an illusion. There are billions of worlds. There are an infinitude of creatures. Great Spirit is within them all. If an individual obeys Crow's perfect laws as given by the Creator, then at death he or she dies a good medicine death, going to the next incarnation with a clear memory of his or her past. Crow is an omen of change. Crow lives in the void and has no sense of time. The ancient chiefs tell us that Crow sees simultaneously all three fates, past, present, and future. Crow merges light and darkness, seeing both inner and outer reality. If Crow medicine appears in your card spread, you must pause and reflect on how you see the laws of Great Spirit in relation to the laws of humanity. Crow medicine signifies a first-hand knowledge of a higher order and a right or wrong than that indicated by the laws created in human culture. With Crow medicine, you speak in a powerful voice when addressing issues that for you seem out of harmony, or out of balance, or out of whack, or just unjust. Remember that Crow looks at the world with first one eye, then the other, cross-eyed. In the Mayan culture, cross-eyed had the privilege and duty of looking into the future. You must put aside your fear of being a voice in the wilderness and call the shots as you see them. As you learn to allow your personal integrity to be your guide, your sense of feeling alone will vanish. Your personal will can then emerge so that you will stand in your truth. The prime path of true Crow people says to be mindful of your opinions and actions. Be willing to walk your talk and speak your truth. Know your life's mission and balance past, present, and future in the now. Shape-shift that old reality and become your future self. Allow the bending of physical laws to aid in creating the shape-shifted world of peace. I done told you. What do you want me to... That's why I love these cards. I don't have to say anything. They're like, yeah, okay. Buffalo. You bring us the gifts of life. Hear our prayers. Smoke rising like the phoenix. We are reborn with the sacred words. Prayer and abundance. In the Lakota tradition, it was white buffalo calf woman who brought the sacred pipe to the people and taught them to pray. The bowl of pipe was a receptacle that held the tobacco, an herb with male and female medicine. The stem of the pipe represented the male entering the female in seeding life. In the coming together of male and female, the connection of the divine energy of the Great Spirit was made. As the pipe was loaded with tobacco, every family in nature was asked to enter into the pipe and share its medicine as a prayer and rise to the heavens. The smoke was considered to be a visual prayer and was very sacred and cleansing. All animals are sacred, but in many traditions, white buffalo is the most sacred. The appearance of white buffalo is a sign that prayers are being heard, that sacred pipe is being honored, and that the promises of prophecy are being fulfilled. White buffalo signals a time of abundance and plenty. White buffalo was the major source of sustenance for the Plains Indians. It gave meat for food, hides for clothing, warm and soft buffalo robes for long winters, and hooves for glue. The medicine of buffalo is prayer, gratitude, and praise for that which has been received. Buffalo medicine is also knowing that abundance is present when all relations are honored as sacred, and when gratitude is expressed to every living part of creation. Because of its desire to give the gifts its body provided, and because of its willingness to be used on earth for the highest good before entering into the hunting grounds of spirit. Buffalo did not readily stampede and run from hunters. To use buffalo medicine is to smoke the pipe in a sacred manner and to give praise for the richness of life to be shared with all races